because of one divine law. This is the law of love, sent us by God. This is the law of love, open the gates to paradise. This is the law of love, and we should protect it. And every part of the world with love united. Muslim or Christian, Hindu or Sikh, Jew or Zoroastrian, Buddhist, Chinese, it doesn't matter, color or race. We all are humans, we are the same. This is the law of love, sent us by God. This is the law of love, open the gates to paradise. This is the law of love, and we should protect it. And every part of the world with love united. This is the law of love, sent us by God. This is the law of love, open the gates to paradise. This is the law of love, and we should protect it. And every part of the world with love united.
Oh, Oh,
Sairam, everyone. Welcome back to yet another session of Region 10's Inspirational Channel. As you know, today is the first Wednesday of July, which is the third quarter, and that means we are starting on a new value that Swami has taught us. You may recall that the first quarter we talked about truth, and in the second quarter we talked about right action. And so this is the first of three talks where we will be talking about Swami's teachings on peace. Today's session, I'm happy to tell you, we are having not one, but two excellent speakers. I will introduce the first one now, Sister Lakshmi Karnakar. When I talked with her and asked her about her journey, she said the sweetest thing. She said, it's the lives that Swami devotees lead that made her to become a Sai devotee. What a sweet thing to say. Her journey with Swami started when her firstborn started Balvikas um, in Iowa, in Des Moines Sai Center in Iowa. And he's a young adult now in college. And through the years, through her involvement with the SSC program and through study circles, she has continued her journey with Swami. And she is now a part of the Dallas Eye Center for the past 8 years and an integral part of the study circle program here, in addition to getting involved with all other wings of the center's activities. So I welcome Sister Lakshmi. I'm so happy you're here. Please share your insights about what peace means to you with respect to Swami's teachings. Thank you so much for being here. Saina.
Thank you so much, Sister Vijayashree. Sairam, everyone. Swami, think through me, feel through me, speak through me, act through me, love through me, and breathe through me. Not just today, but always. Thank you, Swami, for this incredible opportunity to talk to everyone this evening. Um, as Sister Vijayashree said, my journey with Swami started at the Des Moines Eye Center. But long before my son started Balvikas, the first year of my life in the United States, when I arrived for the first time, um, I met two women in the Sai circles. And I was so inspired by them. As I saw more of them, I wondered about the light in them. They embodied what I later found were the teachings of Swami. And this is not just something that I felt. My husband agreed too. So that was my start of the Sai journey with Swami. As part of my association with many other families, Sai families in Des Moines, I remember attending food services. And these people were so kind, they said I could just bring fruit. I even remember the first time I actually made a three lentil soup, and without big vessels, it was quite a challenge. So I think the fact that they told me just come, bring the fruit, that itself made my the start of helping with the food service so easy. Fast forward a few years, my son had started first grade, was about to start first grade, and we wanted him to be part of some kind of spiritual education. And at that time, the only avenue available for us was the Satya Sai Baba Center. That's how I started regularly going to the center. And there's one thing where Swami really helped me. Not once did I just drop him off at SSC and go somewhere else and pick him up later. I always stayed for the study circle. And my youngest child, who was about 2 at the time, he would sit on my lap or just sleep on my lap. Those were amazing moments. I saw first many of these people that came to the Sai Center, I knew them socially. But as part of the study circle, I saw a side of them that I had not seen till then. The intense faith that they had in Swami, the kind of lives they led, how they carried themselves, the acceptance with which they accepted me. All these things made a huge difference to me. And I started looking forward to the study circles. What I what I learned later was that being part of a Sai center and following Swami's teachings, it brings its own superpower. And a lot of times people don't necessarily think about this. I doubt if any of those people in the Des Moines Sai Center really had any awareness of the impact they were having on me. So I think each of us have this opportunity to influence other people. Now, I would like to share a few stories with you which have had much impact on me. The first story is, is related to the Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is the mystic side of the Jewish faith. So now I'm not exactly sure if this is really a part of Kabbalah or this was just the author's interpretation or his, something that he was just talking about. But I read about this almost 2 decades ago in a book titled God Does Not Create Miracles, You Do. So this is how the story goes. I hope you all like stories. God created people and he loved them, and the people loved God. They used to observe God and what he did and how he was. And then they figured out one thing. They realized that even though he had given them everything to be happy, they had God hadn't created them with the ability to create miracles. So they go back to God and say, we would like to have that ability to create miracles. And God, being the ever-loving God, says, sure, I'll give that ability to you. And he gives them that ability. But then they go back, and what they realize is, even though they have this ability, they cannot create miracles. Why? Because everything is already so perfect. And in a perfect environment, you cannot create miracles. So then, after a few weeks, they go back to God and say, we really can't create miracles. So God thinks about it for a while and says, okay, I will create this alternate reality for you. You can go there and then you can create miracles there. So they go there. And when they go there, even there, they realize that some things have to be wrong before someone can do the right thing and create a miracle. So what they do is they kind of informally divide themselves into groups. One group of people first mess up things. They do evil things. So that the second group of people can now correct that. And then they realize that, okay, they do have the ability to create miracles. And then, for the sake of fairness, what they do is they reverse roles every now and then. The people who were doing the evil roles now do the good roles, and the people doing the good roles do the evil roles. And they have fun with this process of creating miracles, of being able to change things. And then generations go by, thousands of generations go by. And the people in the alternate reality, they forget that this is an alternate reality. They think this is the reality. Sounds familiar? Isn't, isn't it possible that that's exactly what we are living now? We wonder why. We wonder why not. But reading this book, it helped me really stop asking those questions. I just started accepting that this is exactly how things are meant to be. And I just need to accept the status of how things are. So there the Kabbalah story ends. But then there is something that is very related to this, and that's the concept of soul contracts. It is said that the human birth is, is the most precious thing we can ever have, because we can achieve so much in a lifespan on earth than we can do in the other realms. So people pine, they try, they work so hard to get this opportunity to come here and live a lifetime. So it is said that between each lifetime, uh, we review our previous lifetimes and see how we can learn most effectively, because the time here is so precious, we cannot afford to waste any time. So it is said that we sit with our guides who are very highly evolved beings, and then they tell us, okay, this is strategically how you can make the best use of your time. And they say, okay, these are the things that you could focus on. And then what they do is they try to craft the correct environments for you where you will have the necessary challenges to learn what you need to learn. For this, they enlist the help of other souls. So it is said that um, there are different kinds of roles. Like, for example, there are some very simple positive roles and simple negative roles. For example, when I think about a positive role, I can think of my third grade English teacher who was such an amazing teacher, and he really liked me. So he gave me a lot of confidence and love for the language. So his was a very positive role. So I can just think of how he would have enlisted to play that role for me and help me in my journey. At the same time, I can think of my second grade science teacher who, who could still give me nightmares. So hers was a very negative role. Though it was a very short role, it was very negative. It taught me a lot about fear. So those roles are also apparently taken up quite quickly by different souls, because those, even though they're negative roles, they're very short roles. So it's easy to fulfill it and just move on. Then you have these important people in your life who are who are your dharmic relationships. They tell us so much about ourselves, but they do it in a way that is very expansive. So you feel their love, you feel their support, and you grow in life. So the growth is happening in a very happy, positive manner. Maybe uh, a grandparent, or maybe a dear friend who always has your back. These are people who fit that bill. Now we come to the most important category. And this is the category of people who have the unpleasant job of having the most negative roles in your life. These are people with whom you have so much of conflict. No matter what you do, you cannot get it right. And you know, it's just a sad situation. And you wonder why you have to deal with these people. Now, these are the most important roles in our life, because these roles, that's where true growth happens. Accelerated growth happens in our interactions with these people. So it is said that, when people volunteer for these roles, nobody wants these roles. And guess what? Who steps in to take these roles? Our closest family, soul family members step in to take these roles. Because they say, see, we don't want your earthly life to go wasted. We want you to take the best advantage of this time on earth. So we will take these difficult roles. So if the people who are giving us the most grief in our lives, maybe it's possible that sometimes it's for shorter periods of time, but still the intensity is pretty bad. What we have to remember is, they are here giving us the perfect environment to master those skills that we came here to take. So, where does this put us? Now we know that, okay, whatever is happening is exactly, I mean, if we believe these stories, whatever is happening is exactly how it's supposed to be. And the people who are giving the hardest time are the people who are helping us in the biggest ways that they possibly can. That takes me to my next story. This story is set in ancient India. So it was the common practice of kings to do these major yajnas. And these yajnas were done to invite, to appease the gods and invite prosperity, not just for the king, but for the people, the land, the cattle, all of life itself. So these were taken very seriously. So on this particular day, there is this king that is conducting this major yajna. And it was customary that all the people who came to attend the yajna are fed well. Okay, so food was always an important, the prasadam was always an important part. So on this particular day, um, the cooks are working really hard to create the best meals, the prasadam. And as the cooking is going on, there is an eagle that catches hold of a snake. The snake tries to struggle, and in that process, while the eagle is flying, the snake falls into this boiling hot pot of sambar and dies. And nobody else sees this. Now, it's not because the cooks are inattentive, but they were focusing on other things. So nobody catches this, this thing that happened. So now, now this food would be used to serve all the Brahmins who were participating in the yajna, and the Brahmins should eat only sattvic food. So this act of feeding them impure food is in itself like a major sin. So Chitragupta, who is the one who sits in the heavens and writes down um, the debit and credit for each person and every action that they do. It said that he keeps track of all our actions, all the good ones and the bad ones. So he is wondering where to put this huge, sin against the Brahmins. It is not the eagle's fault, because the eagle caught the snake to appease his hunger and also take care of his children. It's not the snake's fault, because the snake died and the snake fell off while trying to save its life. It is not the king's fault, because the king is taking so much effort to make this yajna a success and thereby help the whole land. It's not the cook's fault, because the cook was doing his due diligence, trying to make the food as high vibrational as possible. So that Chitragupta doesn't know what to do with this. Where will I put it? And then he's just thinking about it. And at that time, there is an old woman who had been in the yajna premises, who is now coming out of there and walking back home. At the same time, there are a few villagers who are walking towards a yajna site. And they meet this woman at the gates of the kingdom. And they ask her about the food, because food is the biggest attraction for them. And then by then she had heard something about the food not being good and possibly poisoned and all that. So she doesn't know exactly what's going on, but she had heard some murmurs of dissatisfaction. She doesn't know anything much about this. But she was a grumpy woman. And she starts talking ill about the king, how he didn't care about the citizens, about the yajna, how it was not being done well, about how lousy the food was, how people don't do the right thing anymore, and how, bad times have come in, and, generally the gloom, the whole gloom and doom. She talks about this to all these people. And Chitragupta is there listening. And guess what he does? This act of feeding um, food that was horrible to the Brahmins, that entire sin, he writes it under her name. What can we infer from this story? In the context of the Kabbalah story, if everything is happening exactly as it should, and if everything is here is happening so that we can learn from it, what business do we have judging anybody? I mean, one could say that the lady was unjustly punished by Chitragupta. But maybe that is what happens when we find fault with the people or the souls that are here just to help us become better versions of ourselves. This takes me to the last thing that I want to share with you all. Um, One day I was picking my younger son from school, and he was very upset because something terrible had happened. He had heard about something terrible that had happened at school, and he was venting about it. And after I allowed him to talk for a while, I asked him whether he had prayed for the person who apparently had done something terrible. Not the victim, the person who had done the wrong thing. And at this question, my son was really mad at me. He was like, "How can you ask me to pray for him? Why would I want to pray for him? He did this, he did this, he did this." And I wanted to tell him so many things about how things are not always the way, they're not black and white the way they appear to us. And probably the perpetrator was going to have to handle the consequences of his action, um, far more than the victim. I wanted to tell him all this, but he was hardly in a place to listen. Later, I talked to my older child uh, to to get his perspective, and he said, "Mom, you did not you, you chose the wrong time to talk to him." And I totally agree, because I think I should have let him process his grief before I put in my opinions out there. Now, my youngest son, I remember something that happened when he was very young, like about 2 years old. I used to tell my older one, who was quite young too at that time, whenever we heard the siren of the ambulance, I would tell him, pray. So on this particular day, my younger one, who's, I don't remember, maybe 2 or 3, something like that, he called out to me and said, he could barely talk clearly. He said, "Amma, Amma, pay Amma, pay Amma." And at first, I didn't know what he was saying. And then when I heard the siren, I realized that he had caught me not praying um, when I heard the ambulance. Now, my son has gone through the SSC program, and I take every opportunity I have to talk to him about things like these. Even then, his reaction when I asked him to pray for someone who had apparently done a grievous injustice, that made me realize that we have so much work to do. Each of us, we have so much work to do. As I said in the first story, when I talked to you about how wonderful it was to be with the brothers and sisters at the Des Moines Sai Center. In that story, Swami was telling us they were living the message of uh, your life is my message. Your life is my message, is what Swami said. So, in the context of what I told you about my son, what I realized is we all have so much opportunity to create, to be that source of light for somebody else. We often think that, we have to be perfect, that we have to embody light at all times to positively influence someone. But I don't think that's how it is. I think it is enough if we have known light at any time, if we have been able to experience the light even once, that puts us in a place where we can be that source of light for somebody else. And we have all, I think it's safe to say, all of us have known that light at some point or the other. See, if you try to light a candle that has once been lit, it's so much easier to light that candle again, right? In order to light a new candle, you can easily light up this used candle and use it instead of a matchstick, right? Similarly, we have all experienced the light. And I think it is easy for us all to embody this light for others. So that's what I would like to leave you with today. Thank you again for this. Thank you for listening till now. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you so much, Sister Lakshmi, for sharing your insights. Um, I know why Swami led me to you to start this session. Just your calm presence is very peaceful. In a calm way, you talked about your learnings, the stories, and your understandings. What I got from this is that peace has got many facets. It is the kindness that people show, the friendships. It is being non judgmental, being accepting that fosters the peace from the second story that you were talking about, as well as, you know, to leave it be for, as you were trying to explain to your child, pray for the other people that you don't even know, because like Swami has said, prayer that when done for others is definitely answered. So these are all ways in which we can foster, and most of all with the light, shine the light. There is an inner light, make it brighter and shine it so that you show the light to the other people. So thank you again for sharing and spending this evening with us. Now that brings me to the second speaker for this afternoon, and that is Brother Niranjan Hanumanna, and he is also from the Dallas Eye Center. Brother Niranjan has been a personal friend. I'm always amazed by the amount of service that he does with such a smile. I have never seen him with a stern face. His sense of humor. He's been a very active member of our Dallas Eye Center. He's been an SSC teacher for a long time, and he has held many leadership roles, including being the vice president of our center. And he leads a lot of service projects and has been a community advocate, especially in the space of interfaith alliance. So he is the ambassador from our center, and he participates in all the devotional activities and helps out wherever help is needed. So, Brother Niranjan, I'm glad you're here. Please share your thoughts, your experiences, and the teachings that you have learned from Swami about peace.
Thank you, Vijayshri. Thank you so much, Sairam. Thank you for inviting me today. And um, with Lakshmi ji being my co-host, I was a little scared what to talk to. She has wonderful stories. I've heard it in study circle in Dallas. Very active participant as well. Thank you so much for setting the stage. Um, so when Sister Vijayshri asked me to talk about peace, um, I thought for a minute and said, okay, peace is a lot of things to a lot of people. So um, peace can be peace also, like PIECE also. So it's very hard to put a perspective around peace. So what I did is I did go into Swami's perspective of peace. And I think I don't need any introduction. Vijay has given a lot of that, and I thank Swami for providing that opportunity to be part of his mission. And as always, I pray Swami to think through me, act through me, and speak through me, and invoke Swami within me and within all of you, so that this session will be a learning experience for all of us. Sairam. So, to make my life easy, I did make some slides, if that's okay. So, I'm going to share my screen. Um, and what I did is basically I put Swami's um, um, quotes from these two aspects, these two SSSIO sites, and I wanted to bring this topic to you guys from Swami's perspective. Um, so we all aspire for peace. There's nothing wrong in it, and Swami also says nothing wrong in it. He also says just be happy and peaceful. So this is the quote I'm going to read quickly because the fonts may not be very good. So we aspire for peace and comfort all the time, but where can we find it? It's not in the materialistic world. Experience shows that the peace or happiness got from external objects is not enduring. I had to Google, so enduring means it's not of quality. It is like a mirage which cannot squelch the thirst of deluded animal that runs towards it. The real source of peace is within every individual. I want you to make a note of this. It is this inner peace that confers real joy, right? So, Swami very clearly says that the real source is within us and it's not from external sources. So, and he also quotes Tyagaraja Kriti. I marked it below here that Shantamu Leka Saukyamu Ledu. So that's the song which Swami didn't say in the quote, but I just put it there so that way it's what that's what he's referring to. Such peace can be achieved through achieving equal mindedness on all occasions. There's another thing you might want to remember is all occasions. So whether it's pleasure or pain, praise or blame, gain or loss, one should always be um, not affected by these ill will, envious, or hatred seeking people. So, what happens when we react? Swami says that also by reacting to such criticism in a like manner, basically you react, somebody shouts at you, you shout back at them, will destroy one's peace of mind. And this is where the peace becomes peace, right? We should rectify ourselves if the criticism is justified. Again, this is a learning for me. I made a mistake. There's nothing wrong or shame in accepting it and correcting myself so that I don't do it in the future, right? So we should ignore baseless criticism. Very important. If somebody is just jealous of you and throwing stuff at you, you don't have to accept it. We have learned Buddha's, unwanted gift story, where somebody is throwing illness at him. He says, "I don't accept this is an unwanted gift for me." So it's basically that's what it is. So aspiring for peace is a human nature, but there is how to acquire that. Where do you find this peace? So Swami says always be happy and peaceful. So what that means is we all have this, Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa, or all are formless. You can't go to a store and say, "Give me a pound of peace." No, you can't. So one has to manifest these values from our own heart. So this is a very important point because what it means is that peace is always in us, in our heart. We just have to bring it out. So, so Swami also says that he is nothing but in human form. He came and taught us all this, and then he says, "You are verily God yourself." So you can pull this divine energy from within, right? It's so beautiful. And live like members of same family. That's one way of happily and peacefully living life. You might want to think about it because within a family, brothers are not talking to sisters or say something that becomes very offensive. All those things happens. Love and affection is not seen many of the times. Um, so all these petty difficulties or sufferings does seem to be affecting our life, affecting our day-to-day activities, affecting your mental peace. So basically, Swami says this is an extreme part where if a family is not feeling well, like children are sick, just don't get perturbed. You still have to care for them. Doesn't mean that you should not. But what Swami is saying is that have that solid faith in Swami that everything is going to be all right. So, like the good and the bad, you need to have the bad to know what is good, and day and night. So it's always that contradiction or contract. You need to have a comparison to know what is good and what is not good. And at this point of time, the site says that Swami showed this lingam he had created from within, and he said it's very heavy, but he shows this to the lingam. I do have a point to make. Just keep that in mind, and we'll come to this back again. Um, so, like we said, there's many variations of peace. What does it really mean, or peace or shanti? We normally say that every slokam we say, every phrase we say, every prayers we say shanti, 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 right? So that is something caught my eye, and then I'm putting it out here so you guys can go through this a little bit. So there are three shantis. The meaning of first shanti is basically may we enjoy peace for the body. So in one of the study circle discussions, we had this topic from Prema Vahini where Swami talks about how to control food. Your diet is very important based on the moon, waxing and waning. You'll have to reduce your amount of rice or amount of food you take to the extent after the 15th day you're only having the gruel or the ganji or the rice, liquid form of the rice. That is supposed to be a good thing for a spiritual aspirant. But there was always this conversation on food. It's not something that is easy to discuss or debate because each one of our habits are very different. I love food, by the way. So, so the part which Swami is talking about is if something is not good for your body, avoid that because you eat something that should not cause heated feelings of hatred, jealousy, or attachment. And we also do Brahmarpanam for our food. Basically, when we cook, we have to have sattvic thoughts or good thoughts, so that that energy goes into our food, and when we consume it, we don't react to that kind of an energy. So we have talked about some thief having this um, thought of stealing, and when the food was served, the person who ate it also was getting a thought of how to steal something. So it basically transmits from one energy level to another person's influence. So whatever news you receive, whether it's a good thing or a bad thing, Swami says, maintain calmness and serenity. That's about the first Shanti. The second Shanti pertains to the mind. We talked about the body, we have to talk about the mind as well because that's the control station. So you have a lot of thoughts coming in, going out. Should I act on something? Should I not act on something else? How do I massage that information flow into me? Because at one point of time, Swami also says it's not just the food, it's also the company you are with. And he says, so tell me who your company is, I'll tell you what you are, right? That's what the quote Swami also says. So the mind plays a lot on anybody's reactions. So you don't have to get worked up when someone says something about you, which is especially not true. If somebody says I'm a perfect person, I don't believe that, right? So I know that for myself I have flaws. So you should have, I'm just giving an example, but the point here is if you very clearly know that somebody is blaming you for no reason, there's no point in getting irritated or angry or losing your peace of mind, right? So that's one thing. And Swami says, why should I lose peace of mind just because someone says something about me, which is not true, right? Very true. So To resolve, to stick to your truth and be true to your own nature. How to resolve that, right? The third Shanti refers to the peace of soul. If I don't have mental peace, if I don't have physical peace, I don't think I'll have uh, a peaceful sleep, soulful sleep, or soulful peace in my mind, in my body, in my life. So peace has to be realized through soul. The third piece has to be realized through soul. And Swami very clearly says, uh, folks from Sai organization should involve in service activities. That's one way of keeping your mind free of all these thoughts and channel your love to the activities that is essential for the community we live in. Okay. Now the question is, how do we put all this into action? How do we put this love and peace on track, right? So Swami also says, fill your thoughts with actions, emotions with truth and peace. There are so many people who may hate us, but love them too, like Lakshmi ji mentioned, the child asking, how do I, um, you know, um, love the person who is not returning the same thing or causing trouble too. Um, it's something to think about how to achieve this. It's a very hard thing. And one example Swami talks about is also is that like sandalwood tree, right? Sandalwood tree, as it is, it gives that perfume out of its bark. But if you cut it, it still gives the perfume on that piece of wood. But if you smell the axe, you still have that sandalwood smell or the perfume still emanating from that axe, maybe for a short time, but still it doesn't tell you, hey, you cut me because of that. I'm not going to give my um, my goodness, my good nature. So that's something to think about. And then the last thing is, um, let me go back to my slide. So this is where I want you to take a moment. I have a Swami's picture. I have a quote. What do you see? So as an SSC teacher, we always have this affirmation or practice, things like that nature. So this also leads to a point where um, leads to the topic of peace. So the quote goes that Sai Baba manifested the golden lingam at Whitefield. This may not be the exact lingam he manifested, but I just put this picture with the lingam and Swami. Many people have been healed by touching this photo to their bodies, and I keep one with me all the time. So Sai Baba says that wherever this photo is kept, there will be blessings, healings, and miracles. It is suggested that everyone have a copy. Okay. Now the question comes, take a minute and see if you can watch this slide for what you see. Now the question here is, how many of us looked at the lingam? How many of us read the Sai Baba affirmation or the quote, or both, right? This is only for yourself. You don't have to answer it, but this is something which you think of it and um, um, internalize yourself. Now the other part is somebody might see that mic stand with the two mics. I'm being an audio person. I might start looking at, oh, this is a good system to have a speaker speak well and capture all the emotions and whispers or all the kind of things that Swami is in front of. You might see a lot of things in one slide. Now let's go back. If you have seen only lingam here, Swami's creation, yes, that lingam is very auspicious. It came from Swami, beautiful. If you read what the words, the wording say in this box, true, that's the effect what um, keeping the Swami's picture with the lingam provides you, right? Um, but now the question is, if I have to focus on creation, which is the lingam, or the creator, which is Swami. right? So, how many of us focus on the creator versus the creation? Now, this brings up to my point that we mostly look at the creation, the worldly objects, the even if it is the spiritual part, which Swami created a lingam. I'm just trying to make a point that our focus is what is in front of us. Um, when I was teaching SSC, I used to tell the children to shut their eyes for 10 seconds or 30 seconds before going to bed. As much as possible, close your eyes and just go through from morning till evening what happened. Um, it doesn't take too much time if you notice. Once you close the eyes, you have so much focus on, and your whole day goes like a fast forward reel. And it so happens that you see what you did right, you see what you did not do right. There's nothing wrong. There's always a good thing or not so good thing. So what went well, what did not go well, and you also get the thought of, oh, I should have done this better. I should have answered like this. I should have prayed in a different way. Um, I should have dressed up well. Uh, whatever that is, I should not have eaten so much. Whatever that is, that is self-auditing. That improves our focus points. Now, detachment is not easy, but it's not impossible. And that's where the focus comes. You focus on the Lord and not the creation of the Lord, which is me including, and everybody else around me, and objective, materialistic objects, or anything that is around us. But that's what drives me. Yeah, as far as the focus is on Swami, everything else fizzles out. Before I close my presentation, I just want to give a life experience I experienced about 15 years ago. One of our brothers was moving from Dallas to Cincinnati. So, wonderful person, beautiful singer, very nice to talk to. Um, I had the date of his shipment from his apartment wrong, and I went one day later after the truck had left to Cincinnati. So I couldn't really help him pack and ship. But he was very nice. We talked for a minute in an empty apartment, and I came back. After he went back, I did call him and said, "Hey, how are you, brother? Everything's okay." And again, profusely apologized and said, "Hey, I'm so sorry. We devotees, I should have kept better track of timing, but I didn't do that. Apologize and so sorry for that." And he gave me a lesson, a very early lesson to me is that when I said devotee, sir, what Swami says about devotees, my devotees are the one who don't worry about good or bad. Um, you know, anything happens, pain or happiness, doesn't matter. All the time they think about me. That is devotee. And that was a learning moment for me. And even today, I remember that. I hope this session was useful for all of us. I'll stop sharing my slides. Thank you so much for providing this opportunity, and I hope I didn't cross my line. Thank you, Sarah.
Sai Ram, thank you so much, Niranjan. Um, it shows, your couple of decades of journey in the Sai fold. You're imbibing Swami's teachings and you're able to so effortlessly bring them out in simple terms, especially the three shantis. The first shanti is for the body, second shanti is for the mind, third shanti is for the soul. Truly, yeah, if we can control what we eat, what we consume, be it thoughts, be it what we listen by words, be it the food that we eat, that will bring us peace. And if we are peaceful, then we can be a peace agent. So, very beautifully said. And what you said at the end also is really very, very insightful. If we want to call ourselves devotees, we better believe when Swami says there is no good and bad, everything is good. There is no such thing as, uh, you know, I did this wrong or I did it badly or whatever. Everything what we have done, we learn from it and we keep moving. So, really wonderfully done. Thank you. Thank you again so much to both of you. Really, you have started off this quarter very, very beautifully. And as I had mentioned in the beginning, we are going to close this session with a song. But before I come to the song, I want to end the session just with that peaceful song. So I'm going to make my announcements that are coming up right now itself. As you know, next week is Guru Purnima, very auspicious time of the year for all of us. So grand celebrations, I'm sure, are being planned at each of the centers. And don't forget, there is going to be the national conference, the very first national conference and children's festival here in Dallas from the 11th through the 13th. Hope all of you have registered. If you haven't, there is still time. There is no increased fee or anything like that for registration. You can still register. Please come, make plans, tell others who haven't registered to come along so we can all have a wonderful, wonderful weekend long satsang. You know, it's going to be non-stop. It's going to be very beautiful experience. And then right after that, we will be having Ganesh Chaturthi bhajans, Janmashtami bhajans, and so on. So right now, from now on, it's all festivals all the time. And of course, we will be having at the end of August our regional retreat. As you may remember, we are planning to come together as a region to celebrate all the Sai 100 initiatives that we have been doing since last year. So we will bring them all together, and we have a wonderful, wonderful speaker, Brother Shrikant Vaidyanathan, who will come join us from Parthi. I'm sorry, he's from Boston. He was Swami's student in Parthi. So many of you have seen him, listened to his beautiful singing and so on. So we are so excited to have him be part of our regional retreat. So hopefully you have registered. If not, please do so. The first registration deadline for the early sign up is coming up by next weekend. So please do register. So these are the announcements. And as you know, the next session for the Region 10 Inspirational Channel will be on the first Wednesday of August, that is August 6th. And hope you can all join. We will continue on the theme of peace. Okay, these are all my announcements. Now, I would like to welcome Chinmayi to this session. She will be singing for us. Although Chinmayi now lives in Orlando and attends Sai Center there, she is also part of our region and our Sai Center in Dallas. So she graduated from Bal Vikas at Dallas Sai Center. She has co-taught Group 4 for a couple of years, and she was the female YA coordinator in the center. And she graduated from the International Youth Leadership Program at Prashanti Nilayam. And she has involved herself in many devotional as well as service activities throughout the years. And we have asked her if she could sing this song, about which I would like to say a few words as well. When I was thinking about peace, the most appropriate song that I could think about was Maitrim Bhajata. All of us are familiar with one of the most ardent devotees of Swami, Srimati M.S. Subbalakshmi, Bharat Ratna. She's won many awards. She's known around the world for her singing. And in addition to being Swami's devotee, she was also very devoted to Kanchi Paramacharya from Kanchi Matam. So in 1966, when she was invited by the United Nations for the first time to present a Carnatic music concert, she went to seek the blessings of Paramacharya, and he abundantly blessed her. In addition, he also composed a song for her to sing in the august presence of all these diplomats, because United Nations was celebrating the UN Day that day, and she was going to sing. So let me say the words. The song is in Sanskrit that was composed by Paramacharya. It is Maitrim Bhajata Akila Hrijayatrim. That is, serve with friendship and humility, which will win over the hearts of everyone. Atmata eva paranapi pashyata. Look upon others similar to yourself. Yuddham tyajata, renounce war. Spardham tyajata, renounce unnecessary competition for power. Tyajata pareshva kramamakramanam, give up aggression on others' properties, which is wrong. Janani Prithvi Kama Dukhaste. Mother Earth is wide enough and ready to give us all that we desire, like a Kamadenu. Janako Devaha Sakala Dayalu. God, our Father, is very compassionate to all of us. Damyata Datta Dayatvam Janata. O people of the world, restrain yourself. Donate your wealth to others and be kind to others. Shreyo Bhuya Sakala Janana. May all people of this world be happy and prosperous. What more can be more fitting? Just like our Swami says, may all the people in all the worlds be happy, right? So I thought this would be an appropriate, fitting song for us to end this session with. Chinmay, I request you to sing. Saira.
मैत्रीं भजत अखिल हृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिल हृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिल हृजेत्रीम् आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत आत्मवदेव परानपि पश्यत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत युद्धं त्यजत स्पर्धां त्यजत त्यजत परेष्वक्रममाक्रमणम् त्यजत परेष्वक्रममाक्रमणम् मैत्रीं भजत अखिल हृजेत्रीं मैत्रीं भजत अखिल हृजेत्रीम् जननी पृथ्वी कामदुःखास्ते जननी पृथ्वी कामदुःखास्ते जनको देवः सकल दयालो जनको देवः सकल दयालो दाम्यत दत्त दयध्वं जनता दाम्यत दत्त दयध्वं जनता श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां श्रेयो भूयात् सकल जनानां
Thank you so much, Chinmay, for that beautiful rendering. I thank everyone who joined this evening. I thank all the speakers and the singer. I thank Swami for having this wonderful, wonderful evening together to think about peace. As the song says, may all the people in all the worlds be happy. We will end with Om Shanti. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. Sai Ram.